Hello, everyone. I saw a tweet where someone said you must be a very horrible person for the Nigerian army to tweet something, and Nigerians are all in support, of the Nigerian military against you. And he was talking the defense headquarters tweeted a particular picture that said a whole lot that said a whole lot. But anyway, it's going to be another video where we're going to talk about that and what it all represents. But particularly this particular video that I'm doing here, it's the former chief of army staff. Yeah, is that chief of army staff? Yeah, Tukur Buratai, who has come out to criticize Nyesom Wike and the things that he had done, looking at the event that happened between him, the altercation rather, that happened between him and the young military officer. It was a major, major disgrace to Nigeria. And it's something I just can't even imagine myself, and I'm agreeing with, Boratai on the fact that he's taking on and criticizing Wike. It's just such a heartbreaking scenario to witness, and to say that somebody who is supposed to be like the mayor, the governor, of Abuja, because even though he's not elected, but he's the person who oversees the administration of Abuja, and Abuja is where you have literally all the embassies of different countries. Abuja is where you have the seat of power. Abuja is where you have a lot of. When you're talking about Nigeria, is the capital of Nigeria, it's the Washington of DC and the London of United States. But this is how we have seen someone who is in charge, behaving in such reckless, very uncouth, very abusive manner, and it's just irritating and quite disgraceful. Let me come back to what Buratai, said on the Wike's verbal. He said Wike's verbal assault on soldier undermines national security. He must apologize, and that's what this particular this particular former chief of army staff is saying. One of the things that we must understand, and also, is the fact that when someone is representing an institution, it is not about that person, it is about the institution that the person represents. And even sometimes when people in uniform, officers in uniform, do behave in very disgraceful manner, when they do that, for the ones that I say, I'm always telling to them, no, it's not about you, it's the uniform that you're representing. For example, the other time, some time ago, I saw a policeman who was urinating by the well, like, oh God, why are you doing this, or smoking or stuff like that? It's the uniform. So also the reason why a military will do something to you, or a policeman we intimidate, we harass someone, and you do nothing, it's literally because of the uniform. It's not because of the person, because some of them you can beat the heck out of the person. And so when you're having that exchange, in this way, it wasn't as if Wike was the one, who was being intimidated or harassed, and then he was fighting back. That's even a different thing. In this case, it's the Wike that was doing the harassment. It's the Wike that was doing the fighting at someone, calling someone names, some things like, you are a fool and all of that. Why do you need to descend to that level? But anyway, let me look at what Tukur Buratai said. Tukur Buratai, and this is from the cable, says Tukur Buratai, former chief of army staff, has criticized Nyesom Wike, minister of the Federal Capital Territory, over a face-off with military personnel over a disputed plot of land. On Tuesday, a video surfaced online showing Wike in a heated argument with military personnel at a site in Abuja, the nation's capital. In a statement, Buratai said the incident poses a clear threat to national security and requires an immediate and serious response. In that whole, let me just take a moment to talk about that whole video. If you watch the video and you saw how tense the situation were, uh, guns everywhere. Wiki had come with his own guns and his own goons and everything. This guy also had his own men that were also armed, and you could see everybody was just tensed and waiting. Anything could have gone, it would have gone south. I mean, Wiki, filming and foaming and talking anyhow. Did you even see the way he pushed? And a man who was in suit clearly looked like a DSS, DSS official or DSS officer, the way he yanked him. But this is someone who is so huge. I mean, this person could literally carry Wike and fold him like as if you are doing fufu. You know when people do that fufu, mold it, and this he could carry Wike like that and do him. I just don't know the kind of whatever. I don't even know the kind of Igbo way we could smoke. Where they make an in head, or is it because he has a lot of people that he can talk to anyhow because of they're looking for something from him? Either is it a piece of land, is it money, is it whatever? So he's the person that he feels the alpha and omega and doing all sorts of things. One of the things he forgets is that this is Abuja. No matter how powerful you are, there's someone who is more powerful than you are. Boratai continued by saying a minister's verbal assault on a military officer in uniform is an act of profound indiscipline that strikes to the core of our nation's command and control structure. It deliberately undermines the chain of command, disrespects the authority of the commander-in-chief, and grievously wounds the morale of every individual who serves under the Nigerian flag. I mean, for that whole thing, I just hope that if there was anyone that could package shame, I think this is the best time to go and sell shame to Wike. Let him think over his action in that whole thing. He looked so powerless, and that's how bullies usually are. They're extremely powerless. They're all forceful when they see weakness in someone. The moment you show them courage, you see them, they back down. This is not the first time that Wike has shown this kind of behavior where he had to back up. There's a video I did sometime, a long time ago on show talking about this particular thing where he was yelling at some citizens and they were someone of them started, talking back, and you could see the bit of fear in him before he left, that particular place. And so, first of all, why would a minister descend? Is it that you're so jobless that you descend to the fact that you're following people to go and recover a land? What are the courts there for? There are processes of doing this thing. Even if you're going to revoke it, if somebody is saying no, no problem, let him be building the house. You go to the court, you go and collect your this thing. If you like, let him, even if he stay how many years from now, if that place is revoked, it will be taken back. Whatever he has built, it's the person that owns the land that has it. If he doesn't have the permit, somebody else has it. The person is going to go get that. That's what the law is. How do you leave your office because you are so jobless? I'm sure. And the way, I was like, even before I saw parts where he was alluding to that, from I say, I'm sure they came, they wanted to do what they wanted to do, they didn't do anything, and then we can say, oh yeah, follow, let me go and show them. And he carried himself, he went there for a small boy to use him and do pen. You understand, rubbish himself. He started telling the boy that I graduated when you were primary school. Even if you graduated before his parents got married and even have it, how does that solve the price of garri in the market? That's your personal business, and you're just showing that you don't even have the etiquette, you don't have the respect for yourself and for others. You've just shown that courtesy and all of that. You're bereft of them. You don't have any of these things, and so he just went there and he packed himself. And the one that just killed me the most, he gave phone to somebody. Honestly, for me, that's the weakest. That's the show of weakest form of authority. That means you cannot do anything. You have to call somebody. Like somebody tell me, call someone. I always tell them, call someone for what? That if by calling someone, it means that you cannot deal with the situation. And that's exactly what happened. And even when he called someone, he did not change anything. He still had to leave, in that very, shameful manner that he had to leave. And so it's really what Buratai said. His public disparagement of a uniformed officer of a uniform of a military officer rather in uniform is an act of profound indiscipline and strikes at the core of our nation's command and control section. It deliberately undermines the chain of command, disrespects the authority of the commander-in-chief, and grievously wounds the morale of every individual who serves under the Nigerian flag. Do we even have a commander-in-chief? If we have a commander-in-chief, a real commander-in-chief, there will not be a Wike. First of all, Wike has been showing this bad behavior for a very long time. Remember the other time when we had the Indian Prime Minister coming in and way Wike, according to reports, he was drunk or whatever, barge past him, breaking protocol and all of that. If we had the real commander-in-chief and the real president, Wike will not be there to be disgracing this nation. Buratai said this cannot be dismissed as political theater. It is a reckless endangerment of national order. This action by Wike is clearly an indication of undermining the federal government's authority. Boratai asked Wike to immediately issue an apology to Bola Tinubu. He put President, but Bola Tinubu is not my president. As a commander-in-chief, is it commander-in-chief or certificate forger-in-chief of the armed forces of Nigeria, and the officer whose honor was violated? Our nation's security must come first. It is time for decisive action, not politics of military bashing. The integrity of our armed forces demands nothing less, Buratai said. When I first saw this whole statement came out yesterday in a Twitter handle or something where they said it was Buratai. The first thing I was like, is this Buratai or maybe some parody account or whatever? But hey, this is a newspaper, a media outfit that is publishing it. So I'm going to take it like that it's actually, from him. But I really, in the first place, I thought it was so fast. He replying, is that really him? But hey, you never can say. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.